isn't here right now.
Right. Yeah. 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 So if I just like mute or turn my screen off, I'm sneezing and blowing my nose. The allergies are just destroying me right now, man.
Yeah, if you hear me cough like that every now
Yeah.
and then, just
Yeah.
note that
It
I'm dying.
it got warm for like 2 days, just enough to like just cover everything in pollen and mess me up. And then now it's just cold and rainy again. So
Dude, it was so
it's
nice here
good.
one day. It was so nice, and now it's literally windy and cold, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
the,
Yeah. It's
what
freezing
the
out
hell?
now. And I'm just, it's
Yeah,
terrible. Come
that is
home
tough.
and I just want to stay inside. I don't even want to go do anything. I sat at the my son's ball game the other night. His
Yeah,
game, he's 8, 9 year old, right? And they didn't start till 6:45. We didn't leave that field till like 9 something, and I was just like freezing sitting out there in those bleachers.
dude, my brother used to play a lot of. He was like a star player in high school, and there was one game, bro, where it started at 6. It was a Saturday. I remember it being a Saturday, so it started at 6. We didn't get out of there until 12 because
Oh
the
shit!
extra dude, the two teams that were playing were so good, bro.
Just
And I think it was
just
to get to
innings
the
drug out,
championship,
extra innings.
dude. I think it was to get to the championship. The extra innings, I think they went to like it had to be 18. I'm not even joking because I remember my father just going like, "I got to go to work. Like, I got to go to work tomorrow," you know.
Yeah,
But
that's nuts.
yeah, it was insane. We got out of there like 11, 12 at night. It was crazy, but it was a good game.
Yeah, yeah, that's nuts. So, I mean, I guess how have you been? Start with that. How you been?
Oh, I mean, it's me personally. I'm doing okay. I mean, like the business is kind of rolling. But are we filming?
Yes, yeah, we're live.
All right, now, all right. Hey guys, how's
Yeah, yeah. I just sometimes I do the intro, sometimes I don't. Like,
yeah, I was like, oh, there's no intro.
yeah,
Me personally, I'm doing okay. The business is, I'm lucky that I got the Trump literally on Friday, last Friday. So my old Lori Trump figure. So I missed the tariffs on that one.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I got real lucky on that. And but the tariffs are kind of a little thing going on. But we'll talk about that.
yeah, yeah. That's dude. Like, so I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do this week. I was so busy. And then like everybody was complaining about the tariffs, complaining about the tariffs, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, you seem to be going on business as usual. Like nothing is really affecting you." I was like, "So let me hit you up and like get your perspective on this." And then like after I'd reach out to you, I seen there was like a whole leak thing of Marvel Legends, and I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna cover League Legends next week, but we're gonna talk the tariffs now."
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
when it comes to the tariffs, I mean, really it's a tax on the valuation of the shipped product, right?
right.
So the factory puts the valuation in. So I'm lucky that, unlike, all the other guys out there, like, and I feel bad for like Mitch, but like, just say Mitch, Mitch, unlike Epic Toys, and I'm only saying the people in my space, but Zombie, unlike the major doofuses, unlike those guys, I don't ship product as a whole.
Okay. Yeah, I
Like,
seen your
yeah,
reel or whatever. I read that.
yeah. So, just for everybody who's listening and stuff, um, unlike everybody else, I don't ship my product as a whole. Like, I don't ship the figures in the packaging. So, I get at max 2 boxes, three if things are, a little, they want to make some room in those boxes. But in most cases, it's 2 boxes. So when she shipped I say she, but when the factory ships my stuff, um, they can put a valuation on it of like $200. So and it doesn't look like it's not a $200 valuation because it's only 2 boxes.
Right. Okay.
So what happens is now when I do ship some stuff, because I do have a ton of samples coming, and we'll talk about those, dude. I got so much cool stuff coming in samples. Um, uh, but I'm lucky that it does. Mine looks like a $200 valuation. So even if he goes to 150%, which would be me paying an extra $250 on the valuation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it, I mean, is $250 going to kill you?
Yeah.
No, it's not going to
Probably
kill
not.
me. It's not going to kill the business. It's not going to hurt the business overall. That's something that's very easily recoupable over the course of a very short period of time. So for me to hoist the figure prices up or say, guys, the figures, the prices are coming up, or
Yeah.
kill my pre-orders and then hike my prices up is zombie. But it
Well, and that's
doesn't
what.
make sense from me from a consumer standpoint because I can absorb that cost and it's not gonna affect me.
Yeah.
So why would I hoist it up a little just to make some extra money when I can keep my consumer confidence, uh, and then people who are fans of my brand will stay with me, and those things show sometimes. I think where people look at that and they go, I feel
Yeah.
like my face is so big,
Well,
but they I'm like, ooh. Um, but people see that and they go, what, Sal's looking out for us, and I am. I'm looking out for them. So if it's not going to hurt me too bad, why would I, trickle those
yeah.
costs
And
down to the
I thought that was
person?
cool. For me, I mean, I understand like, okay, prices got to go up, prices got to go up. I know we're gonna eat it. Most of these big companies aren't gonna eat those costs.
No.
What was getting me though was like when people started saying, okay, well, current pre-orders, we may be charging you a fee once they ship, and I was like, whoa, like that. To me, that's kind of shitty. That kind of sucks because like when you make that deal, it's
Yeah.
kind of like a deal. You know what I mean? Like you agree to that price at that time, and I get things change, but like like when Big Bad posted they were going to possibly charge a tariff surcharge when things shipped. Anything that I was like, okay, I can get somewhere else, I immediately just went and canceled. Then,
Yeah.
not like all my Street Fighter figures from Jada. I was like, I'll find them in Target or order them on Amazon or something at some point. I don't need them right away.
Yeah.
I'll wait because I'm not going to pay an extra fee just to get them first. I'm not doing
And,
that.
and speaking of waiting, like a lot of people, I think are going to play the waiting game, and not just the people purchasing, not the consumer, just the consumer, but I think the companies, the toy
Yeah,
companies. I think, like I was saying in my post, I think production takes time, right? Like especially for someone like me, it takes time. It's not like Mattel where they're constantly pumping, 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 and pumping. For me, I'm a one guy business, so I take time. I take my time on this stuff, and I think I'm just gonna. I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna outlast the tariff in terms of
yeah,
my production. My production's gonna go longer than the tariff, I think, and then when they're ready to ship, I have a feeling the tariffs are going to be done because they can't last forever. I think everybody's going crazy because they're like, "Oh shit, we got to pay more money now." But I think down the line, right, in maybe a month and a half, somebody's going to cave, and I have a feel it's not going to be us. And I think the way Trump is playing it is he's playing it in a sense where he's saying, "Well, they're going to, if two planes are going down, uh, their plane isn't built as good as ours." And they're going to go down a lot faster than we
yeah,
are.
right.
So, and we'll be able to pull that nose up. I think that's what he's doing. Um, and I also think he's avoiding a war, because I think from a just a robbery standpoint, I mean, China, and I don't want to bastardize China, but, I mean, they steal our IPs, they steal our fucking technology, they take it, they call it their own. It is what it is, whatever. That's something we're not even going to get into. We're talking about toys, but um, so I understand from his perspective why he's doing it. Does it hurt? He even said it. It's going to sting for a little, but once
Yeah.
we get past it, it's going to be better than it's ever been. Which at that point, what's going to happen? It's going to sting for a little, and then it's going to we're going to
Yeah.
have a freaking it's going to
Things
rise.
will come
So
back. Things will eventually level out. They always
yeah,
do.
and also look.
There's certain big companies that once they go up, they're not
That's
coming
what I
back
was going to
down.
say. There are going to be certain companies, and that's where I think we're going to see. That's where I think where someone like me is going to benefit the most because
I think a lot of the smaller, more indie lines are probably gonna start popping up more frequently and benefiting more because it's basically direct to consumer. You guys don't have the overhead and everything like that.
yeah, like dude, I was saying overhead in my thing, like guy, dude, I store everything in a garage. I don't have a warehouse.
Yeah.
right? Like Leo, I do everything myself. I
Yeah.
pack the figures. I put the figures in the packaging. I put the cards in the plastic. I put the figures literally together. I pop heads and I pop arms and I pop waists in.
Pretty
So
awesome though. I mean,
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool because I learn every little aspect about this business. Like literally everything. Like there's probably no one who does this who understands every little aspect of it more than I do right now. Because I literally do everything, you know.
yeah.
So, but that also gives me an advantage over everybody else because I don't have those costs to that inhibit me. You know, I don't have to go to my 3D sculptor's not like, hey man, I want a raise this week. Oh fuck, if I don't give him a raise,
Yeah,
I don't get my sculpts.
and I can kind of in that aspect I can relate to it a lot because like my old man's company, I work for him. There's only four of us that work for him. There's five total, and
Yeah,
we make more than a lot of the other guys because there's only four or five of us, you know,
yeah.
and we're able to just be more productive, and there's not as much overhead as a lot of big companies are, but also like when we get materials or we do everything we do is consumable, so we have to have an upcharge on that, but we don't have a huge percentage upcharge on it compared to like a lot of these big companies that have to constantly churn in a profit every quarter. So I do get that, I understand that, and yeah,
Well,
some of these companies, man, like it's robbery what they're doing, dude.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they know they can get more money out of the collector than they can the child, so
Yeah,
they gear their product more towards the collector and the price. But like I use the old like saying from Todd McFarlane, right? There's an interview, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the last time I was on, but there is an interview that he does, and it's on YouTube, and it's done by if you look up Todd McFarlane Blueprint, right? It's my favorite interview out of anybody because you can watch that thing and you learn something new for some reason all the time, every single time. And in a part of the interview he talks about how when they went from Marvel to starting Image, right? He said, we could get killed in sales from Marvel, literally destroy our sales, but make the same percentage that we did at Marvel. It's a win. You
yeah,
didn't lose. You're making the same exact
yeah,
money that you did in Marvel. So I use that same logic in my business that as long as I'm making the same amount of money, what the fuck does it matter?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know? And in his position, unfortunately for him, it went up. They made money, a lot of money,
Oh, dude,
more
they
than they
killed
ever
it
did in
in
their
the '90s.
lives.
They were everywhere, and like when I like as a kid, I was like, "Oh, this company's huge." I went and watched that documentary recently about like them leaving Marvel and starting Image up. It's on
Yeah,
Amazon, I think.
yeah.
And dude, like it was very like bare bones, and just those guys doing it, and how they took on those big juggernauts was pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, but using that piece of education, that little information that he gave, right? And taking it and using it as as a launching point for myself. I mean, as long as I'm still making the same percent, then I'm golden. I'm good. I can get killed from everybody else. Zombie can kick my ass. Mitch can even kick my ass. Uh, the majors can kick my ass. They can all be making millions of dollars for all I know. But as long as Sal is just making what he's making, Sal's never going away. So it's the same thing like
Right.
McFarlane. So I use that, and I use that as the example. And now I'm taking that back and applying it to what we're doing exactly today with tariffs. That as long as I'm making the same percent, why would I
Yeah,
hurt
yeah,
anybody else?
yeah, yeah.
You know?
Man, the posted zombie put down yesterday, I think. Or no, the day before. Yeah, I think the day before, where they were like talking about damn near canceling some of their lines. It made it sound like they couldn't afford to make the lines, and then it was like, oh well, we're gonna put the Bloodsport figures up anyway. And I was like, dude, there's got to be such a huge profit margin on these figures that
I
if
mean,
like,
look, I don't know what
or they're
exactly.
just bullshitting and just trying to like make it look like there's good graces there. I don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't know. I've bought a couple of figures and they're nice, but like I was like, wow, this is like a really long doom and gloom thing, and he made it sound like they were like facing the end here, and then it was like, oh fuck it, we're gonna put them out there, and I was like, okay,
Yeah, no, I mean, one thing I've also learned about those two guys, those three guys, is that they are very strategic in how they approach things. And what I mean by that is because I've dealt with one of them who tried to destroy me, but um, they're very strategic in how they put out a little bit of information to kind of make things either work for them or not work for somebody
Right.
else. And I don't know what their profit margins are. I don't know what it takes to what it takes to produce their figures. I don't know what their factory charges them, but I know what my factory charges me. And as long as it stays level, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna kill anybody in pricing
Yeah.
or fucking tell anybody, hey, you got to pay $2 more, or drop the prices and then tell people now you got to pay more. I'm not doing that. My prices stay exactly where they are, and people know that when they come and buy something from me, this is exactly what you're going to pay for them, unless you buy them out of the pre-order. You buy them out of the pre-order, the price is going to be higher because I want you to buy in the pre-order, and that's why you get the cheaper prices. But for the most part, if you're buying in the pre-order, I even said it in there, the pre-order prices will not change. So, it's a shitty situation for
Yeah.
everybody, but like I run my business very bare bones. I run my business, with you know, as as smartly as I can run it. Like I'm not hiring, and sometimes things take long to get shipped, but in the long run, overall, yes, they might take a little longer to get shipped from me because I'm a one man guy doing everything and working and this and that. But they will come, and when they do come, just note that they're coming from a one man business and not a business of 10 people or 5 people, or you know what I'm saying. Um so it's a shitty situation everybody's in with these tariffs, but it also unfortunately means that a lot of people are going to be taken advantage of, and I think a lot of people, like I said, are going to see through it as well. But this could be the beginning of the end of the collecting market.
I've been saying that for about a year or two. I've been saying like I feel like when is enough enough? There's too many lines. Like I feel like everything's getting revived, everything's coming back, and there's too much out there now. Like I already this year I've sworn off imports. So like
Yeah,
I've been selling off my Mayfex figures and dumping a lot of like higher end figures. I'm like I'm only doing domestics and like new lines. It's basically like the Jada line, the Marvel Legends and GI Joe. Everything else has been retro stuff, like retro inspired wrestler figures or actual vintage toys.
yeah.
I'm not diving deep. I just so in that aspect, like with all the prices going up, I was like, oh, I was already cutting back a lot as it is, so I'll go from there. But I had no problem. I looked at toys as like, all right, it's like a fun little hobby. They're collectibles. If they get too high, I'm just out. I'm an adult. I'll have other things I can spend my money on, or I'll go back and start hunting some more things that I missed over the years. I wasn't stressing and freaking out like a lot of people were. I mean, it was pretty. It's already shitty in the toy community online, but it was like overly shitty this week.
Yeah, I mean, look, look, I love everybody, and especially in the retro world. But yeah, I mean, there could be a ton of negativity instead of saying, well, what's the positives of this, right? Which is me. I'm trying to look at the positives, and there are always negatives, but I think people just need to kind of take a step back, right? I think instead of saying, oh my God, we're gonna have to pay, $60 for a Spider-Man figure when it hits Target. Well, maybe readjust and say, all right, well, if it hits $60, I'll hang on for a while because
Yeah,
at
if
some
if
point
we
it's going to go
don't buy
down.
it, eventually they'll have to drop prices.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but that also hurts the market overall because then it shows that the consumer base is dying out, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get less stuff, less product, less everything. But
RIP Lightning Collection. A lot of
yeah,
people just. I feel like Hasbro was marketing that towards kids, and it's like that was an adult line that should have just been online and maybe not flooded the stores. You know.
well, I think Power when it comes to Power Rangers, like I was telling somebody on another show, a friend of mine, uh, outside of his show, but we were just talking, and he was like, he goes, I think they're going to be interchangeable heads. That's what's coming. And I said, dude, they can do interchangeable heads like the morphing action. But I was like, at the end of the day, if there's nothing out there in the world to support the brand's gonna it's going to fade away, and that's what happened. I think to the Hasbro line is that
Yeah.
there
They
was no TV show, there's no movie,
well,
you know, like
they treated they did exactly they did this to GI Joe like in the 2010s,
yeah,
and like they just kind of like put a line out there and didn't do anything, didn't advertise it, didn't support it, didn't have any media with it, and they still sold it like for kids at the time. You know, it wasn't geared like because no, there were no adult collectors at the time, even though there was.
yeah,
And then the line just kind of died, and eventually they killed off GI Joe. And the same thing with Power Rangers. They bought into like they wanted Hasbro wanted to be this multimedia company, and they were buying in to just get like just quick, hey, make this, and just shit didn't work out, and they just kind of killed it off immediately. And it's a shame because that was a damn good line. I thought I really, you know, they could have went on for a while just on comic book figures alone. The comic book was selling really well, but you know, I guess people don't really read comics to that extent now. So
yeah. I mean, the comic industry is kind of on its way out, but they just need to refresh it. I think, like you know, when I worked for I worked for a sock company for a number of years, almost 6 years. And one of the things my boss would always say, he'd be like, Sal, what's old is new and what's new is old. You just got to
yeah,
figure out how to take the old and just make it fresh again. And he was every freaking time, this fucking bastard was right. And,
yeah,
you know, so like, and I think that's kind of about to happen with the retros where
yeah,
what's old is new, what's new is old. So if you can
yeah.
figure out how to revamp it and
And
freshen it up, which is what I'm trying to do, which is what I
and
think I'm going to do.
it's interesting because in that like to go with that, but then to go with like the toy generations right now, like a lot of the toys that are hot now is like that late 80s, early 90s kid, like my generation, people that are at
Yeah.
40. The next generation, most of those kids didn't play too much with toys. It was
Done.
all handhelds and like the Pokemon cards and
Yeah.
everything. So for those come to start scratching and trying to find toys for that generation, like I said, I think the toy industry's kind of going to start going down again because
The toy industry is
there's
definitely
not
going
going
to
to be
start
that
going.
nostalgia market for the next generation.
Well, the toy industry is definitely going to start taking a dip in, I would say, the next 20 years. That's definitely going to happen. But I think what's going to happen is nostalgia in terms of a connection to something that they had, that generation, this generation coming, um, a connection in terms of nostalgia that they had to an IP is what's going to sell. So, for
Yeah.
example, Minecraft, right? In the next 10 to 15 years, the only thing that's going to sell in terms of action figures, in terms of nostalgia, is going to be Minecraft or Fortnite or things like that, Pokemon. But, you know,
I'll buy Fortnite figures if they bring them back.
I know McFarlane was making them, right, for a while. Or
Yeah,
was it,
McFarlane and then Jazzwares, and then
Jasmine?
Hasbro bought them or got
Yeah.
into it, and they made great figures, but they didn't know how to like do it. And Epic was weird at that time. They didn't want them to announce figures that were coming out. They wanted them to randomly drop like they
Yeah.
would in the item shop in the game, and that doesn't work for collectors.
No.
Collectors need to know. They need pre-order windows. You know, so it
If they were
was
smart, what they would have done was if I had the license for the toys, I'd be like, guys, you know, there needs to be if this is going to work, there needs to be a collaboration, right? Well,
yeah.
how do we do something with the video game and collaborate with the toys? Well, if we're going to drop
Yeah.
stuff,
I always
in,
said that they should have came with like a weapon wrap, you know, or Nerf. Why did we get Nerf guns in real life for Fortnite, but not Nerf weapon wraps for the guns in game?
yeah,
You know, like that would have been crazy.
no, but what I also mean is like utilize the game to your advantage in how you promote your action figure line, right? So like if something's going to drop in the store, maybe in the store you have a promotional code that says, "Hey, look, if you have this code when you go to Target or participating Targets in Fortnite, the game, use this code. You got to pay for the code or whatever. I don't know, however it will work to get a discount on the figures, and that's how you get people to go from the game to the store. You know,
Mhm.
where if they wanted to do like the drop, where it's like, all right, we're just dropping it, just like in the store. I mean, just like in the game. Um, that's just one idea that comes to mind when
Yeah,
doing
no,
that.
they could
But
have done a lot of
yeah,
crossovers, and I feel like every brand that has used them and licensed them fumbled it, you know, because it's you now see it's like this more of like a online virtual hub now, like
yeah.
Nike and Adidas. They have just shoe you can get shoes in the game. There's all these crazy collaborations now, and I just feel like people didn't understand the reach that it had.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's it's a lost opportunity, but hopefully someone down the line is smarter.
Yeah.
And I think in 10 years, 10, 15 years, that whoever has it, hopefully they use their brain on how to put this stuff out, and they don't use the conventional ways. But we'll see. But yeah, so I think that's what's going to happen in 10 years, where that type of nostalgia is what's going to sell product. I don't see I don't see like what's going on right now, where Master of the Universe is a big thing. Uh, that's going to die out
Yeah, I
unless.
don't see that lasting much longer. I mean, I'm a Motu guy. I got some stuff, but I after me, after like, there's no younger people that are into it. Like my son is, but my son is, by proxy of me, so he
Yeah,
would
yeah,
much
like
rather play Fortnite.
he doesn't have the same connection that you or I have to that
Yeah,
property, because he didn't grow up in the waking
yeah,
up on
he
Saturday
didn't live it.
mornings
Yeah,
going, "I have the
exactly.
power." And we did. So when we see it, that little click hits us where we're like, "Oh man, I remember sitting in front of
And
the
cartoons are
TV."
different now. It's like an eight
Yeah.
episode series. It's not like it goes on for a whole year for the season.
Or when we come home from school when we were younger, right? Did
Yeah.
we pop on Fortnite or
Mm-mm.
Minecraft and play? No. What we did was we sat down, we came in, we dropped our freaking bags in front of the door. At least I know I did.
Yeah.
And my mother would yell at me saying, "Pick up your goddamn book bag." And I'd sit in front of the TV and I'd watch cartoons from 4 to 6, and then do my homework.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they had reruns of Spider Man, they had reruns of X Men, they had all that cool stuff. Jackie Chan Adventures, for some reason sticks out. But you know, no, that those that's what we would do. But these nowadays these kids, they come home, they go to their room, they drop their bag, and they put on their Xbox for an hour or two, and then
Yeah.
play a game. You know,
Yeah.
it's a different generation.
Yeah. It
It
is.
sucks, but I mean it's how you adapt and make it work for you. Um, but it's the toy industry is in for a very, very rude awakening in the next 10 years, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think even sooner than that, because like I said, just like COVID. So all right, all right, so let's use the comparisons, right? Like, we'll use this to COVID, right? Because they're people are freaking out the same freaking way. So we'll use, all right, COVID, right? People were losing their jobs, but people were getting money from the government. It was more money than most people ever had in their life. So what were they doing? They were collecting. They were buying products. They were buying toys off of eBay, or going to the store and just buying because they had that extra money. And I think that was like the surge to where collecting kind of had its
Yeah.
big
Yeah. And that.
surge.
Yep.
And I think now what's going to happen is it's going to level off and it's going to dip. And
Yeah.
it'll dip and it'll
No,
level
a
off.
lot of
But
those people that started then are already selling out. I
yeah,
mean, just selling off those collections. They blew up. They
yep.
can't do it. Yeah, I know. I like somebody who always is cruising around on eBay. Like, and I was like, oh man, these the Marvel cards that I had as a kid. I was like, they're so cheap now. So I was buying full series and just putting them in binders and stuff. And then
Yeah.
when COVID hit, those shot through the fucking roof. Like everybody was trying to buy those cards. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Well, it's crazy because, right, like I was doing, I ran a convention for 2 years called the New York Toy Con, right? So I had my own toy convention for 2 years. But one guy was telling me, because he had baseball cards, right? And he goes, "Sal, the card market is fantastic." He goes, "You should get into just doing a card show." And I said, "Well, I don't think cards are going to really be as big as they are right now in the next 2 years." And baseball cards aren't like, people were buying baseball cards for crazy money, football card, any kind of
Yeah,
card back then, in that 3 years ago, 2 years ago, for crazy amounts of money. The only thing right now that's selling in the card market is Pokemon.
yeah,
That's the only thing that's selling right now.
yeah.
So, and I think it'll be
And
the
I've
same
seen
thing.
there's a little bit of controversy going on with the PSA grading right now
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. Well, explain that. What's going on with that?
So I guess people are sending cards in, and um, they're sending them in, and then certain people are grading them one number, and then so they're tearing it up and sending it back in until they get like a 9 or whatever. So like different people are grading them differently. So now there's another. My brother was just telling me this. There's another company that's using AI, and a lot of people are switching to the AI grading.
Uh huh.
and I don't know how that works, but
Yeah,
I always thought like I know I only deal with CGC when I send out my comics, and they all hold to a pretty damn high standard. I don't know. I don't do their cards because I know the cards. Everybody just said you get more money for having a PSA graded card over the CGC, but like you
but
get more
yeah,
money in the comics for the CGC.
yeah,
So I don't know there, but I just yeah. There's a bunch of inconsistencies going on, and that's what everybody's pissed off about. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean,
it's people though. It's human eye. You know, it's like
that's what I was going to say. You know, one person. We'll use artwork as the example, right? One person's going to love a piece of artwork more than the other. You know what I'm saying? It's the same concept where people look at things differently, and unfortunately, it's just human nature. You know, one guy might not catch the fact that there's a little nibbit on the side of
yeah.
the card,
Well, and
but
then the
the other guy
market
might.
being so blown up now, it's not like they can keep the same standard either. They probably have thousands of people grading cards compared
Yeah,
to, maybe 30 or 40, from 10 years ago.
I know. I know. A couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was CGC that made an announcement that they're gonna grade Funko Pops, and they were looking for people who can come in to grade the Funko Pops. And I don't know if they do that anymore. They probably still
And
do, but I mean,
Funko,
Funkos aren't what they were then. You
they're
know,
everywhere, man.
not anymore. I mean, dude, supposedly Funko's taking a big hit financially. I mean, they supposedly they're in some really like bad financial strains right now. You know, I mean,
How
and it's gonna happen. Think about it
Mondo
like this.
raking me over the coals all the time,
Do you still buy
Damn.
them?
I don't buy the pops, but like they bought out Mondo, so there's
Yeah.
a couple things I get from Mondo. I some glow in the dark stuff, and then
The,
I went in on the Ghostbusters, so I did get the Egon and the Peter.
dude, the Mondo stuff. I mean, I love posters. I
Oh
came
yeah,
out.
I
I,
can't
I
afford those posters. I was looking at one; it was like $300. I was like, "Fuck that!"
dude, I came out of college, right? And my goal, because I'm a designer by trade, I'm a graphic designer artist by trade. So when I came out of college, the goal was to get in entertainment advertising. There's something about posters to me that are so unique in terms of advertising because
Yeah,
you have one image, one shot, one chance to tell a story to sell a product, which is a movie, right? So
yeah.
I love posters. So when the Mondo posters started coming out, and like they were doing and I can't remember his name, who did the Star Wars posters, and he was doing those really cool collages. And
Okay, yeah.
my God, I can't remember his name, but whatever. Phenomenal artist. And I was like, you know what? I can do these, dude. I was doing conventions for 10 years, 11 years straight. And right before COVID, I was considering quitting my job and just doing conventions because, dude, I was making my own posters, designing my own posters. I was selling and making so much money doing conventions. And then COVID hit. But the reason why I say that is because it was the inspiration was Mondo to kind of come back to that. And their stuff has just always been, whether it's artwork, toys. I mean, you look at the turtles toys they have. I
Oh,
think
the,
it's
the
them.
big
My
vinyls, they're
my
awesome.
God, those things are awesome. Did you see the Super Shredder?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the eye; it's twitching.
And then they just showed off Street Sharks like them. I'm like, this is crazy. But
I mean, dude, some of the coolest. And what's great is they are. Oh, if this big style takes off, think about it for a second, bro. Oh, they're owned by Funko, which means Funko has every license you can think about under the
yeah,
sun. Can you
yeah,
imagine a freaking Roman Reigns or a Stone Cold Steve Austin
yeah.
in
I
that style?
I have the big soft vinyl Scare Glow, and it looks
Yeah,
like the old Motu figure, and it's so damn cool.
dude,
It's
this
so
stuff
cool.
is beautiful, and I mean,
But
I
yeah,
mean, Mondo has always come out with great stuff, but Funko, that the business for their Funko Pops is just been it's taken a giant dive. I don't think in the next 10 years,
it's
I don't
gotta
think.
cost them so much on the shelf space in stores, because dude, like Target, GameStop, Walmart, they have so much space in retail, and they
Yeah,
just sit there.
well, they sit there because they probably buy Target probably buys them for so goddamn cheap that they're like, all right, we can just have them sit there until they just start to whittle away. But I know the reason why they're in a financial issue is because they're having issues with license guarantees, right? So when you sign a license, right, you have an upfront, you have an upfront, and then you have a guarantee. So you got to make, like, say when you sign Warner Brothers, you do $1 million upfront, and then you got to guarantee them $5 or $6 million a year on the low side. So now if you have like a license that's like a no name license and you can't make their guarantee, you're pulling that money out of your pocket now, out of the company's pocket, and ultimately now you're losing money. You're losing money, and now if you have hundreds of these licenses and you got to pay $1 million here, $1 million here, and that's why they're in a financial bind right now. And the product's slowing down anyway, but it's one of those things when you just I feel like they grew too fast. I mean, they grew really fast. But I'm sure they got mega rich. Whoever owns that place is definitely a multi-billionaire. Um, but uh, but yeah, I mean, Funko's just isn't enough. They need to do a Toys That Made Us Funko episode because
That'd be cool.
it's on the same level as every other like Turtles of our day. It's going to be that
Yeah.
nostalgic brand in 20 years that makes a comeback.
Yeah, I
You
see
know?
that. I mean, because I mean, those were always the things. Like people at like when I first started going to cons back in like 2010, and it was just people would dig through and grab the Funkos and shit.
Yeah, I mean every booth has them. Like when
Yeah,
you go to Comic Con. Like when I'm at New York Comic Con, you walk around. There's not one booth. Even the booths that sell just artwork. If you're just a normal artist, you usually have a Funko or two on your table to try to push it. Um, because they just there's so many of them. So everybody had them. It's insane. Funkos
yeah,
are insane.
yeah, yeah.
I
So,
wish I owned Funko.
dude, yeah, it'd be great.
Sort of, maybe I don't know, but
That'd be awesome.
oh yeah.
All right, so I guess there's that. So updates, man. What do you got? What do you got cooking, like toy wise?
Well, I'm going to be January 26th and 27th. I'm going to be at the New Jersey Toy Con, and I'm going to have some product. Not a lot. Like I'll have some Franks. I'll have some old glories. I'll have some Chris Van Vliet's. Some of the older stuff like Larry Zabisco. I have a few left, but I have tons of samples coming next
I
week.
seen your picture yesterday. Is that one of the superheroes with the
So
harness
yeah,
in the
so
arm?
dude, she's showing me photos of some of these samples. The Amazing Man is just like the chest area that I showed because I thought it was like really cool. But when it's put together, bro, that thing is so cool. The way it stands, like it just has like this, like I'm gonna kick your ass look to him,
That's awesome.
dude. And then the one that has the cape, the Black Terror, dude. The retro has a cape, and it looks. I was like looking at it the other day, and I'm like, man, this thing looks so cool because I never seen a retro like a superhero retro.
Now,
Um,
what the cape? What is that? A different material or just
no, no,
another
it's
part
it's
that
it's
pops
gonna
on?
it's gonna be PVC. It'll be part of the figure itself,
Okay,
but it'll be a little lighter PVC. But it has like a cool like the way it's positioned. It's off to the side,
okay,
so it's not like a straight cape. It's like it's flowing in the wind almost.
right.
Very cool. I also have, and I'll make the announcement here. Uh,
Breaking news.
breaking news, but I have a very cool retro style Popeye the Sailor Man that I'm going to
Oh
show the
shit,
sample at. I'm going to show the sample at the toy show. Very excited about that. He's got the pipe, he's got the fat arms, but he's a retro, so he's muscular.
that's
He's not.
badass.
It's
That-
it's it's actually really badass, bro. And then I have a Buck Rogers, and he has like the laser gun. It's
You're
very
going old school now.
dude. Some of these, dude. I just signed a license for a very old property that everybody's very aware of. I'm not gonna have a sample because I'm not done with the model because I got to go through approvals. But I'll tell you when we come off here. Remind me. Write a note
Yeah.
to say,
Okay.
"Hey Sal, what brand do you have?" But I have a very old property that has a detective in it that's very very cool, and it's very cool. It's very very cool. In fact, it's awesome.
Batman. You got Batman.
I wish. I wish. You kidding me? If I had Batman, I'd be like, Batman,
Be telling everybody.
we're going Bat style, baby.
That's
But so I got that, and I have all my samples for the monsters. Those are coming. I have what else am I gonna have there? I'm gonna have the new ring sample, the actual sized ring. So that's gonna be cool. And something I'm thinking about doing, I'll tell you after. But it's gonna be 8 inches. It's gonna be a retro. It's gonna be very cool.
okay.
But I'm gonna have the ring sample there, the new one, so everybody's gonna be able to see the ring in person, and then maybe some of the figures inside of it, and then I'll have
Die-
James. I'll have James Storm. I'll have James Storm.
Diego's asking Dick Tracy.
Diego, you might be closer than you think.
You just have to wait for the announcement, man.
Yeah, brother. Calling Dick Tracy. Calling Dick. Calling Dick Tracy. Calling. Um. So maybe,
So
maybe. But yeah. So and then I'm also gonna have James Storm and Chris Harris. Those samples are gonna be there. Um, they look awesome, absolutely awesome. James is gonna come with the beer bottle.
hell yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to show those just to be like because I think people like sleep on those because it's James Storm and Chris Harris. But I think when you guys see them together,
There's a section of people out there that have a very soft spot for the early TNA though.
yeah, and I don't have the. I'm not going to have it with the samples, but when I when I do a pre-order on them, they're going to come with something very cool that's has the number 6 involved in it,
Yeah.
and it's going to be very very cool, very different, and but yeah, very excited about the stuff that's coming. You can hear it in my voice. Um, just very cool about like that Popeye and that and the Buck Rogers.
Popeye is fucking nuts. That's cool.
Freaking awesome, bro. Like
That's cool.
I went in and sculpted the little speckles in the jeans, like the little like the woven.
Yeah.
Dude, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, and he looks like Big Papa Pump because he has like a little muscle.
Yeah.
Like I'm
That's
trying to
so
get it
cool.
in, but he has like that little. It's like a muscle on top of a muscle. It's very cool. It's gonna
That's
be
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
You're not gonna have Popeye thrown down with Frankenstein. That's
Popeye's gonna be throwing down with Hulk Hogan. You kidding me?
yeah, that's badass. Um, so your monsters, I know. Did I miss a post? Did you do like a final tally after the Kickstarter? Like, was everything in, or because you said that you gotta get the tally, and some people might back out, or some people might not pay,
Yeah.
so that would affect the numbers.
Yeah, so what happened was we wound up getting like I think it was in the final tally was 19,000, a little under 19,000. So as of right now, the blob is kind of at risk. But
Bastards.
what I'm hoping is that the Old Glory Trump saves the day,
Okay.
and the sales on that Old Glory Trump are, and I can
Boost
take
up.
that money and pay off the blob because I want the blob, and the blob sample will be at the show. And
Okay.
I'm gonna have ooze that shows how the
Yeah.
mechanism works.
I'm gonna try to get there. I'm gonna
It
try
would
to
be
get.
nice if you can get there because then I can meet you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it would be awesome, but in person. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're in Philly
I'm in Maryland, but
or you're in
I mean,
Maryland. All right.
yeah.
Okay. So it's a drive.
I'm like half hour, 40 minutes south of Philly though. So I'm almost in Delaware. I'm like in the upper northeast corner of Maryland. So
Yeah.
not real far.
Well, look, if you can make it out, dude, I'd love to. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'd love to have you come by and we can, like meet you in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, and then, but yeah, man, there's so many. Nico's hating he's gonna hate the fact when he rewatches this, and he's like, shit, damn
No,
it.
it's not Heineken. It's liquid death. It's just water, sparkling flavored water. Drinking a
Um,
Heine. No.
out of all the beers, I think Heineken actually is the smoothest. To be honest with
That's
you,
what my old man drinks. I probably haven't had a beer since
yeah, I haven't drank. I haven't drank in years.
August or September.
Really.
I just really don't drink like that. And,
Well, you're getting older. You got a family. You know, you don't really need
yeah.
to. You know. But yeah, dude, there's so much cool stuff coming. The ring is gonna be there. I'm gonna have figures on hand. It's gonna be it's gonna be a fun show. It's going to be cool to meet some people and customers. And what's great is they just announced Jimmy Hart and Tatanka are going to be there, so there's going to be a pretty decent wrestling crowd.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, there's it's going to be I think a pretty good show for me. Yeah, and then Neck is going to be there, so that's going to bring a crowd. And then Mystic Legions will be there, so that's going to bring another crowd. So
Oh, those Legions guys are crazy, man.
dude, some of the stuff they produce is. I went to their booth one year at the Jersey show, and I mean the detail. I mean I don't know how they do it for the price they do it,
Yeah.
because some of those paint jobs are just like,
The paint is what gets me. I mean,
yeah,
like a lot of people have good sculpts and good detail, but the amount of paint on every single one of those damn figures, I'm like, dude, it's nuts.
absolutely fantastic. I mean the way they're actually able to get like all the details, and like, I mean, just there might just be like a little like spray on the cheeks of one of the
Yeah.
characters, like a lion character, and you're just
What
like,
what I really love is like the just the weapons when people have painted weapons. Just the
yeah.
little grains or the little slides or little details, the little rivets and stuff, man. That just sets it off. It makes it look so much cooler.
Yeah, some of that stuff is just, I mean, some of that stuff's awesome. It's, and when we were kids, we never got that. We always
No,
got like
hell no.
here's an orange X,
See, but
or
I kind of miss that stuff too, like the bright neon, like solid colored weapons.
like this. I don't know what the hell this thing is that,
Yeah,
but
no, I love that
it's
shit.
all gray. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, we got that stuff. That's what.
yeah, I do love that though.
Yeah, no, I mean, these were awesome too. These were awesome. This brings back a lot of memories, dude. I had a bucket full of just these, because I had so many of them. Because I think I told you guys, my grandmother would buy
You
me
just buy that.
Splinter and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
over and over and over and over and over. I had so many Splinter like walking sticks, and I mean, I had
It's
so
awesome
many
though.
of them. It was crazy. But yeah, I miss these two. I mean, ah, cool stuff, bro. So what's happening in the toy world, like outside of me?
Outside of you, I mean, I got some reveals and some news I can pop up if you want to look at it and talk about it. Yeah, we
Let's
can do
do it.
that. Yeah, hell yeah. Let me move some windows around here.
I was trying to prolong the conversation so that Nico can
Oh
get here,
no,
try to run here.
you're good. Dude, he said the earliest he was getting done was like 8 his time, so that would be like in another 10 minutes, and then however long it takes him to drive. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
if we'll see him tonight, but
he's gonna pop in for like a minute. Be like, hey, when
yeah,
the show ends.
basically. Get that off the screen there. We'll come down here, swap that out. All right, so we always start with Todd, and that's I guess this was this the Chadwick Boseman um the
Hold on,
Chadwick
I'm
Boseman
gonna turn
in
my
memory.
phone. Give me a sec.
I think this was the in honor of Chadwick Boseman figure that he did, and
Yeah.
now it's just in bronze, or maybe they changed the head and it's supposed to be Al Simmons here in bronze. I don't know, but it's just another random weird
I mean,
variation, weird color that he
the
puts out.
paint job on this thing is awesome. To where they made it look like it was bronze.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, I love the all the green highlights on makes it look oxidized. It's very cool.
Yeah,
And we
very
get
cool.
some random Game of Thrones stuff.
Is Game of Thrones even a thing anymore? Like, is it still like?
Um, I believe it is a thing, but it's not as big as it once was, and especially I think there's like going to be like a 2 or 3 year hiatus in between these newer seasons of shows, so
Mhm.
that kind of kills momentum, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Game of Thrones is such a I don't want to say dead property, but I feel like it. I don't
It
know how you
de-
justify new
it
toys right now.
definitely took a dip after the show finished up. The new show the new show is pretty decent, but I feel like there's just a lot of talking and not enough of the cool like Game of Thrones shit. But yeah, I didn't even know he did Game of Thrones figures. So to do like a repaint of another of a figure, yeah, House of Dragons is taking forever. Yeah, yeah, that's why I said I think it's like a 2 to 3 year lull in between the
Well,
seasons.
well, did he just acquire the license?
Maybe it is. Maybe this is the first one.
Because if he just acquired the license, I can see him taking the license from Warner Brothers just so he.
Because wasn't Diamond Select doing them beforehand?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. So he might, because I know they just got bought out, so he probably jumped in there and was like, "Look,
Yeah,
I'll take it if it
I know
makes you guys
everybody's
happy."
hoping that Jada. There was like some leaks of Jada signing a deal with Invincible.
Oh
But
yeah,
more or less, I'm thinking we're just going to see those die-cast cars they do. But I do
yeah.
hope it does turn into some 1/12 scale figures. That'd be pretty rad.
Oh yeah,
And then, we got an ice version of Red Hood. And this is that first Red Hood they put out. And that figure's actually pretty decent.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's just a repaint, right?
Yeah, yeah, just a frosty blue.
Yeah, he does this to everything.
He does. He loves. Then we got I think this is a year two Batman coming out.
Yeah, it's actually a great shot. That's how you promote figures, right
It
there.
does look good. Then we got a Commissioner Gordon. And it looks like all reuse of the Constantine body, just a different.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
You know, could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think the bigger like monster type characters is definitely where Todd excels. Like human civilian looking guys here is where it gets a little leggy, a little weird.
Well, especially that he took that the Superboy and he turned it into himself, and you're like, wait a second,
Yeah, yeah. He gave himself bare feet. I kind of just wanted to get that figure just for the memes, just to have it. But we got the Jeremy Irons. Like this is it's always so weird to me when I see movie figures released so late.
Yeah, I think right now, I mean, I get why he does it, but at the same time, like, I'm surprised Warner Brothers is approving this stuff. I mean, it's done. Like, move on. You're trying to get something new out there in the world. Like, I mean, I don't know if he ever did come. I don't know if ever came out of Jeremy Irons' Alfred before.
Yeah, I mean we're getting ready to
Yeah,
get
we're
the
getting a
new
brand new
the
Superman.
new
Like,
DC
move on.
verse, a new Superman. Like it's time to let Snyderverse go and start promoting the new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think people have nostalgia for it for the Batman versus Superman yet.
No,
Maybe in
there's
5, 10 years, maybe. But
there's those Snyderverse guys are
oh
pretty
yeah, yeah.
serious about their
Look,
Snyderverse.
I liked Henry Cavill more than as more than anybody knows.
I,
But we got to move on. Like
mm-hmm.
honestly, I think this guy, like that shot of him laying on the floor where they're carrying him in the trailer,
Yeah, that
that's
teaser, man.
that's freaking Superman. I don't care what anybody. That's all star Superman right
It
there.
had such a good, like, hopeful vibe to it, and like that's what I've been wanting for my Superman. I don't need a dark and dreary Superman.
Like I see Snyder's Superman as like the Superman after the death of Superman story, with the long hair and he's darker and he's a little more rough and
Yeah,
tough. That's the Snyder Superman. But you know what? At some point they moved past it. And I feel like this Superman reminds me of All Star Superman. And I love that comic. I love that. I love that book. So it definitely has the feels. I can't wait. I can't wait for that movie.
yeah, we got some new adventures. Man, I've been so tempted to just get more of the animated Batman stuff, just because there's no good 6-inch DC. But as much as I like the Bruce Timm designs and the cartoon, I do not think they translate well into good figures. They just
No, I
they're
feel
very
like
top heavy.
yeah, they're not there's something not right about the Batman the animated series figures that he's doing. Um,
Most of them
I
are just re-releases of the Diamond Select ones.
I
He's
don't
just
know, but
making
they
them.
just don't have something's not right. You know, something's not right
Yeah,
about him.
yeah,
Like for as cool as this is, something doesn't feel right about this Batman. You know?
right. Well, it's like everybody was mad that they were getting a cell shaded version of everything being released, so now you get a shiny one.
Yeah,
You get a shiny Batman. I mean,
I will say that this figure's awesome.
this one does look cool as
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. The Demon's a cool character.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the black cape too. That's pretty cool.
So then we got Beast Kingdom put up these figures, and they said they're 21 centimeters tall, which is about like 8.25 inches tall.
Uh huh.
So, and I think these are, man, I want to say they're $75 a piece.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, Dark Sea side's 120, and they're 72.99. The Justice League figures are 72.99, 8 inches tall. But man, the sculpt on it is awesome.
You know, the sculpt is fantastic. That's an awesome pose right there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this looks good. Like if these were 6 inches, maybe I'd consider it. But because right now I just have like my Mafex Batman stuff. I sold off all my Marvel Mafex. I still hold on to my Batman and his villains because I don't have any domestic 6 inch. I do have some old DC Universe Classics figures, and I for all my Green Lantern stuff, I have those. But yeah, I'm hoping that Mattel deal that's coming, that they're going to make 6 inch figures. But I have a funny feeling that they're going to do Masterverse scale so they can scale with their WWE elites and their Masterverse figures. They're going to do like 7.5 inch
I
figures.
mean, dude, it would make sense. The reason why is because they can take some of those WWE bodies.
Absolutely. And then they can do crossovers with them like they're doing with all their Motu stuff right now. It
That's
just makes
exactly what's going
sense
to happen.
to
Yeah,
do it. And I feel like they will. And
that's
that's going to
exactly
be a
what's going to
huge
happen.
bummer for me.
Oh yeah,
But this one looks awesome, man. This
yeah.
one
It
looks like,
reminds me of Alex Ross's
yeah,
Batman.
I believe all these figures are based on some Alex Ross art.
Yeah, very cool.
Superman looks pretty good. But
That's
again,
all.
like the thing that bums me out was like there's no happy Superman figures. They're all pissed off. And I need a Superman that looks like he's got like some kind of hope or like positivity in his life.
Yeah, and he's not. You know, not every Superman wants to fuck somebody up.
Right, right. I mean, this one just looks like he's disappointed in you. Like dad just got home.
He's like, you robbed the bank?
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on,
Come on, like got all these hands and we couldn't get like just like a happy head, a smile.
happy hand.
He is pissed off.
Yeah,
Flash, I think
Flash is happy.
Flash is happy, but he looks weird to me. It's like that mask has to be like a complete over. It's not sculpted. Like it's like an overlay, and it looks like it's like stuck on his head.
Uh
I don't know. I mean, this matches the artwork,
huh. Yeah,
but it just looks a little weird.
that's kind of cool.
I,
Yeah,
I,
I will say their face sculpts are fantastic. I mean,
yeah,
jeez,
I mean, this was my favorite one because this is my dude. But
you're
yeah,
a
if this was 6 inches, I would be all about this thing.
yeah,
Figure of the year, it would be, but it's not. So he looks fucking rad though. That's my guy.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. You're a big Lantern fan?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Lantern's cool.
yeah. Ever since the movie came out, they've kind of Green Lantern's become the new Aquaman. They get disrespected.
I think the show's going to be pretty cool. It's like it's
I
like
I
you know,
think this show's going to be good, and I'm going to
lethal
support
weapon.
it. But I feel like they're just setting it up to kill my boy off. I'm a Hal Jordan fan, and I think they're going to kill him off right away.
I think they're going to kill him off too. But as long as they do it, if the show it feels like Lethal Weapon or something like that,
If if they kill him off and then get rid of old guy Gardner, and they set this up to where it's like John Stewart and Kyle Rayner in the future,
yeah,
it's like John becomes the main focus, and then eventually, like in a season or two, we get Kyle. I won't be mad. But if it's just like weird old man guy and they kill off Hal, I'm gonna be bummed out
yeah.
because
Well, I
yeah,
mean, think about it like this, right? If they kill off Hal, the ring has to go to somebody.
yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense for what you just said. So it
I
makes
feel
sense that
like they'll bring in Jessica, and that's fine.
yeah, yeah.
Just keep Simon away. You know, Simon sucks.
For some
This,
reason, I don't like that figure at all.
you don't like this?
No,
I think it looks pretty good. I don't like the cloth looking overlay. That might not even be cloth.
I don't
I think
like
it
that.
is.
Maybe that's what's bang, like messing with my head. But
He's big. He's 120,
he
and
is.
I think Todd did a fine enough job.
Oh, with the cape, it looks really cool. The other
Yeah,
ones didn't have a cape.
yeah. The cape comes on and off.
The cape actually looks cool. I don't know. I always hated
I
Darkseid.
love.
press, you know.
I like his little laser
The Omega
eyes.
Beam, yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wish they would do one that looks so that I wish they would do one like a company like would do one to where it where it comes out of his eye, but it goes around his head, goes around this way, goes around, goes over his head, comes down like you know how they do it in the cartoon where it's like
yeah. Yeah, I don't know if anybody like had it where it can wrap around. I think most of them just kind of cross in front of him or whatever.
like it would be cool if it like wraps around his head, maybe.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I'm getting too creative, but with the cape it looks pretty cool. I just hate that
Yeah,
little
yeah.
skirt.
Now these, I don't know what this company is. It's not In Art, but these kind of came out around the same time In Art was originally shown. But it's some Japanese company that are doing the Arkham series in 1/12 scale, and this was shown off at, again, terrible news guy. I'm just taking pictures from the internet. I can't read the language that they're posted in, so.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty damn crazy.
I mean, it's a dope looking figure.
I don't particularly care for this look of Batman.
But when you look at it here, it looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, there's some serious detail going on here.
All the textures, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, look, and then look Bat Dick, just zoomed right in on it. That's so weird. Like, just a random picture of his crotch. Look at that. Yeah.
He's like, Catwoman, look at my.
Yeah, yeah. But like what got my interest here was a Deathstroke. Because we need
Oh
a
man.
good 1/12 Deathstroke.
Oh
I
man.
I prefer classic, but I will take an armored to hell up.
That's insane. Oh wow.
That's badass. I mean, that is a lot of stippling there on that guy, dude. Like
Yeah.
that is crazy. Crazy amount of texture.
Yeah, it's kind of what I did on Popeye's jeans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Holy shit.
Yeah, and then there's like a Catwoman prototype over here to the side. Another picture of the Catwoman prototype. This one, man, I have the
Batman Who
McFarlane one.
Laughs always was like one of those cool freaky
Yeah.
characters. He always reminded me of Pinhead for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, he has a
That
very
might have been like the
Cenobite
inspiration.
style to him, and that's why I think I like him. I have the McFarlane one, and he's like 7 inches, so he's towering over all my figures. But man, if this isn't
Wow.
like stupidly out of range, I might be interested in it just to have him in scale.
Look at the chains on that thing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's just like the rusted chains. Just look amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, this looks good. I could throw him with my Fortnite figures.
I would love for them to put him in the new Batman movie.
Dude, this would be a fun one because he's an asshole. It would be a fun character. But that would be like way, way, way out to do it.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the new Batman Brave and the Bold. If he has like a nightmare sequence where he's dreaming and then
that would like a little one shot. But to like set this up though, that would be crazy hard to do. But just like this pose, man, his scythe and then the chain, like that just looks badass. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in this one. Then we got an Arkham Knight prototype, which I don't think I'd need this guy. I'm good on that. Some more Batman metal stuff, and this is the Flash. I don't know the name of the character. I don't really know the arc too well. Then there's the Green Lantern version. Again, I have the McFarlane one just to have in my Green Lantern collection, but if the price isn't stupid, I might be interested in this just for my scale, to be in the right scale.
Yeah, I have the book. I just never read it. Bought it. I got
hopefully this is all green too, because then it's like a construct. That'd be cool. I forget what this company is.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this.
Yeah, they had we showed the prototypes last time. Well, this is like painted prototypes or models of these will scale with your NECA or NECA RoboCop figure. These guys are doing the whole
now here's these are owned by MGM. Yeah, so they're official. They're officially licensed.
Yeah, these are official. These aren't bootlegs. This is like a legit company. They got the rights just for these guys to pair with your NECA figures.
I mean, it makes sense that like we talked about.
Yeah, NECA's not going to go deep, Then we had, so this is crazy, talking about rights. This is a whole shitstorm. This popped back up. Now, I don't know. I know there's still a lot of legal areas going around, and I know Vonner owns Friday the 13th, Pamela, and Child Jason. Cunningham owns Adult Jason, and basically like two and after, right? But I think they have to just to use the name. They still have to agree on something like together to share it. I don't.
What is this, NECA, right?
Yeah, this is the NECA, and now NECA already had a Pamela figure, so I think that's one of the gray areas too, where they can re-release things that they've already done.
Yeah, yeah. So when it comes down to the Friday the 13th license and even the Nightmare on Elm Street license, but mainly Friday the 13th license, and I know this because I worked on Friday the 13th, the property, my job. Um, you can only do stuff that already exists. You can't do anything that's that's different. So like for example, I'll try to put it into terms that make sense. So for example, if you're going to do a T-shirt, right, for Friday the 13th, you can't do any new art. You can only do the stuff that they provide you, right?
Right, right.
So, or it has to be
Yeah,
something from the movies that's specific.
yeah, yeah. Like NECA can't go out and do an Uber Jason right now because it
No,
hasn't been made, but they can use what's already been made in their category, so they can do like a part 7, re-release that if they
yeah,
want to.
yeah. Yep.
But what's weird was it, and I didn't. Nobody could clarify this for me when they were doing the Toonie Terrors line. They couldn't repaint Jason. They were going to do an NES version of Jason. It's the
Yeah.
same figure, just a different paint job, but they couldn't do it. They weren't allowed to do it. And I think that might have just been at the beginning of the lawsuit, everything was on pause. They could probably go back and do it now. I don't know if they will.
Uh,
I would like to see them do it.
well, I think they'd have to get approval for. I know that when we were working on Friday the 13th, one of the things we were telling them like we need new stuff. We can't keep on using new stuff, and so they did give us new stuff, but they had to go through hurdles to get it. So I mean, I guess it depends on the agreement you make.
Right. But anyway, I think this is all up for pre-order right now on the NECA website. It will be coming to Walmart and Target. This is an ultimate version of Pamela. It's cool for people who want it. Me personally, I don't give a shit. Friday the 13th is Jason in a hockey mask.
Yeah.
It's just like Halloween is Michael Myers. I'm sorry. I understand the original intentions. I know you're not going to tell me. I grew up, I lived it. Like these kids aren't going to tell me how it is now. Um,
Well, dude, I'll be honest. That company that's making those RoboCop figures that go along with RoboCop, I wouldn't mind them getting the Friday and Halloween license.
Final Girls doing survivors and shit. That'd
Yeah,
be so fucking cool.
like give me a Tina
Yeah.
with mental looking powers or something
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Like give me something
Tommy
like that.
Jarvis. I need a Tommy Jarvis, bro.
Give me a Tommy Jarvis. Give me all the Tommy Jarvises. Give me the
I
kid
would,
version.
I would love a Nancy figure from
Yeah,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
or give me I'm trying to think from like give me a Busta Rhymes doing a fucking karate chop
Mm.
like Michael Myers.
Yeah, yeah, I'd be down for that.
You
Oh,
know?
dude, I forget who I told. When they revealed, I'm going to a darker picture. When NECA revealed that they're doing the Curse of Michael Myers, the Halloween 6 figure now, and they said they're going to go back and do like they did the new movies. They're going to go back and do all the older movies now. And everybody's like, you don't have a Halloween figure yet? I was like, no, I'm waiting for an H2O. They're like, why would you get that one? I was like, I like the look of that mask the most, like
The H2O one.
yeah, it's like it looks like the original one, but it's a little more form fitting and just has a little more shading to it. I
So
just
so
like.
so how big of a Mike Halloween fan are you?
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm a fan.
So there's one, two, three, four, five different masks in Halloween H2O. So if all right, because I'm a big Michael Myers fan, like massive, bro, massive Michael Myers fan. Halloween comes around, there's nothing on my TV but Halloween.
Hmm.
My girlfriend hates it. I mean,
No,
absolutely.
no.
She's like, you watched this one yesterday. I'm like,
And the
yeah.
thing is, I'm watching 1, 2, and H2O. Like that's the trilogy for me.
If I'm watching it, she'll be like, yeah, but you watched this one yesterday. I'm like, yeah, that was yesterday. Today's a new
Yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah.
But so yeah, so all right, so we'll just real fast since we're on the topic. So in H2O, in the very beginning when he kills the nurse, right? He's actually wearing the Halloween 6 mask.
Fucking A.
And then throughout now, as the movie goes along, they give him a new mask, right? Which is the mask you like and I like. I think it's the best, probably the second best Michael Myers mask. Then in another scene when he's chasing the kids, where they hit him in the face with the rock, and they're up against the gate, and they're trying to get he's trying to get into the gate.
Yeah.
That's actually another mask that the director wanted, which was completely white. That for some reason it looked like a white black man face. I swear to God, and you can see it too. There's a scene when he's standing at the door when he comes down when they run down the stairs, and he's standing there. Google it if you don't believe me, and it looks like a white black guy face. And then there's a scene where he kills that kid with the corkscrew, and he puts it in and he tries to get the corkscrew out of the thing, and he turns around, and Michael Myers there, and he cuts his throat. That's actually a CGI mask.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
And now the CGI looks like shit. But when we were younger,
Oh yeah, all the CGI looks terrible. There's so many movies I watch and I'm like, damn, that CGI is
dude,
bad.
I seen that movie in theaters and that shot because they used that white black guy face mask, and so they just replaced it with a CGI mask. Everybody in the theater goes, "What?" Because nobody was able to tell it was just CGI on top. But
So you being a Halloween fan, how hard have you tried to do a retro Myers then? Have you been going after that one you've been trying to hunt down?
so I tried to get. I told you guys I tried to get the Warner Brothers license and the Universal license, but the costs are just they're
Just
enormous.
through the roof? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not there yet, and I don't know if I'll ever be there. But
Yeah.
um,
Halloween 3. Your thoughts? Does it belong in the series or you see it as a total separate thing?
I see it as a totally separate thing. But it would be cool if they took Halloween 3 and they did a continuation of it, because I know they want to do a series, a TV series. It would be cool if they did a continuation of that movie in a TV series.
See, I always wished that there was a movie, and there's oddly enough, there's a weird rumor circulating around that there was a movie that could tie in like the corporation and the curses from 3 into the shit from the end of 5 and part 6 with the Triangle Man. You know what I mean?
The
And all
Curse of
that.
Thorn, yeah, yeah. The Curse.
Yeah. So there's a. I heard that there's a the next person that wanted to buy the rights wants to do a legacy sequel to 4 and 5.
I mean, would it work out business wise? I don't think so, because I think it's going to confuse the
It
audience.
would. It's already a convoluted mess.
Yeah, yeah. But going back, I think it would confuse the audience. If it were me and I were going to make another Halloween movie, I would do a movie that I would do a movie that it's a brand new start, but it's like a brand new start with a continuation with Danielle Harris. That's what
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
Maybe she's living in Chicago. Like, here's the thing.
I would still have Michael in it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
no, of
just
course.
be a different scenario, different
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
You know.
One thing Michael's never been in is in a city, right?
Yeah.
He's in Illinois, right? We went to California and goddamn H2O. So how would it be out of the realm of him going into Chicago? How cool would that be if he's
Yeah.
chasing through just like Jason, where he's in a freaking Chicago subway?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be
How
down for that.
awesome would that be? So I would love to see something like that where it's like, Danielle Harris, she moved to Chicago to get away from Haddonfield. Maybe she has a son now, and Michael has followed her, and now he's been waiting all these years, just like in the original. Now he's waiting all these years, and now he's finally going to come after her, but it's going to be taking place in Chicago. I mean, I think it would be so
Dude,
freaking.
that'd be cool.
It would be awesome. Um, but when it comes down to, like, I was thinking like Halloween 3. So Halloween 3, I would say if they did a TV series based on that movie and they used
Oh,
all three,
dude.
and there were 3 different killers in the series, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate. I've never hated Halloween 3. I've only hated that it was called Halloween 3. If it was just called Season of the Witch, be
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that movie.
yeah, yeah.
No
No,
problem.
I agree with you on that.
At that point, Halloween is Michael, and Michael is Halloween. They like. I know that it was intended to be an anthology series, but it doesn't. It just doesn't work now. It's just like that most recent one, where they decided to put somebody else behind the mask. Like, what the
Oh
fuck was
god,
that?
dude, I was telling somebody at my
I
job.
hated all 3 of those movies. By the way, I'm just Just
I like the first
clarify.
one. The second one just comes off as
You mean the
like,
John Wick Halloween special?
well, no, the second one comes off as like a
Yeah.
Halloween John Wick.
That's the second one, the John Wick Halloween special. When
Yeah,
he kicked the door and that girl shot herself in the face with the deagle, I was like, I'm done.
yeah. No. That one
Done.
wasn't great. But I it was funny though when towards the end of the movie when he kills the two gay guys and
Oh,
he has them upstairs and he's playing that love song.
or just when he beats the
Kind of,
entire city mob down.
yeah. No, that stuff is stupid. But the first one, that first Halloween movie they did, I thought it was really good. I thought it was a nice way to kick off the series. But then as they went along, they just ruined it. Like that dude who took over Michael Myers' spot for the freaking majority of the movie. First of all, that is one ugly dude. Every time he would take that mask off, I'd be like, "Oh, what the hell? Put it back on at least." You know what I'm saying? Like, well, just a really ugly human being. So, like I feel like they chose the wrong guy for that spot, but at the same time, it was definitely the wrong story. It was the wrong story.
It was so weird.
Yeah, it was a terrible movie. I hate that movie. That's probably my most hated, right next to freaking
I don't know. The Rob Zombie ones are pretty bad too.
Ro- Rob Zombie. Look, I thought they were the first one is decent, but I think
The thing I liked about zombies most was the sound effects. Everything sounded really gnarly and gritty and
yeah,
nasty.
yeah. I mean, well,
But
you're talking about a guy who who's a musician,
I
and
just hated the need to explain everything. For me, man, a lot of
yeah,
times in horror, less is more, and we don't need to know why.
yeah. I don't need to know why he became the killer, and
Yeah,
that stuff. I don't need to know. Um, I mean, it was an interesting way of telling that story of why he
sure,
kills,
sure.
but um, when they got to part two, I was just like,
The
if the whole movie
unicorn.
was the first 25 minutes of, if they would have extended that whole thing out where he's like, the whole movie is that crazy, that movie would have been probably the craziest Halloween movie ever made. But because of the fact that it's only the first 25 minutes and then it takes so long to get back to Michael Myers, the dude writes a book. She finds out he's his sister. She starts
Yeah.
crying in the car. And now we have this downward
The,
spiral of
the
her.
dream sequences at the end was just what the fuck, you know, just walking
Yeah.
with his mom and getting on the unicorn or
That's
the
another thing. Like the freaking, if they would have taken out the mom and the horse,
yeah,
like, first of all, I hate his wife. She's the worst actress in the history of acting.
yeah. He puts her in everything.
Stop putting her in your movies. It's ruining your movie career, you idiot. And that's what ruined that's what ruined that Halloween movie. If she wasn't in it and there was less cursing, I think that movie would have been really decent. But part two is like the first 25 minutes of that movie could have been the whole movie, and if it that movie would have been awesome. But when once they got to the part where, oh my god, she's seeing things and she's going crazy and she doesn't know what's real.
Yeah,
My god, it's just
it was rough.
it was pretty rough. So that
Yeah,
one's definitely like my second most.
yeah. Halloween and Texas. I'd say Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre are in weird positions as franchises. Like it's
Yeah.
hard to continue from the damage that's been done.
The issue with Texas Chainsaw Massacre is that they don't know how to continue from the last movie. It's just I think
You
what they've
don't need to
realized.
continue. Just random it. You know, a group of
Well, I
strangers
think
show up in the middle of Texas, and here's some weirdos with you know.
I think that's what they've realized is like if we just keep calling the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, people will go to see it thinking it's a new remake. So that's what pisses me off about that series. But I mean, if they can figure out some cohesiveness over a period of three films, I think it could be like the remake. I thought the remake was pretty good. The the
Which
the
remake?
the first remake.
Jessica Biel.
Yeah. I
I
thought
think
that was
that's the
that.
best one in the franchise.
Yeah, no,
And I get people hating on me for that. I will say the remake is better than the original. I
I think
respect the original, but the
yes.
remake is better.
Yeah, no, the original is a good movie, but it's slow in its pace. The
You,
remake has the
yeah,
same exact feel as the original,
yeah.
but it's fast paced.
It's
You know?
fast paced. There's higher stakes. It's like
Yeah,
it just the original it changed things. It's one of those like I say you had to be there movies. People
yeah.
thought that shit was real, thought it was gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Like the part where uh we don't know if the boyfriend's dead, and then she turns around when they're in the car, when they're hiding in that car, and he comes out with the chainsaw and he starts slicing through the car, and then she pops out and she sees he's wearing her
wearing the
boyfriend's face.
face.
That
That's so
that
fucked.
part was like a holy shit moment in the movie, you know?
Yes. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say was like wrong turn. But the wrong turn one's even kind of got off the rails.
So the first one is a good movie. I watched that one literally maybe like a month ago. The
Yeah.
first one's fantastic. The low budget movies that they made after that, terrible
The
movies.
second one isn't terrible, but it suffers from just that early 2000s straight
Yeah,
to DVD
yeah.
that a lot of movies had.
And then that remake is, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if they woke up and they were like, you know what? We should just make it stupid.
But it's like it wasn't even a remake. It was like a remake and a reimagining where it was like a whole colony of people living out in the woods. They tried to like Hills Have Eyes, the Wrong Turn franchise or some shit. It
Dude,
was
people have been saying that there's all right, so the movie ends, right? The freaking Winnebago, whatever the hell she's driving, flips, right? They come out with the kid and the dude is dead and everything like that. There, I think it's on Hulu, right? Where the movie, I don't know if they messed up when they upload the movie, but the movie starts to play over but backwards.
new shit.
And people are saying that's a new version of the movie that they want you that
Maybe
they wanted you to watch the movie backwards,
it might
so
make more sense.
so that the movie was like a dream.
Oh, jeez.
So it's so stupid. But yeah, the movie's terrible. It's like she's like, you know what? I'm gonna marry you so that you don't kill me. He bangs her, he gets her pregnant. She like it's so stupid.
Uh, well, anyway, NECA revealed Archie April that there is in the works, so that's cool. If you like the Archie comics,
Yeah, I
new
mean
adventures.
it's kind of cool if they would like start doing that with all the turtles and start making them look Archie.
Yeah,
That
I like a lot. Like I like the Archie Slash, the Archie Mondo Gecko. I got those over the Toon versions.
yeah,
I have the wrestling turtles, the stump wrestling turtles. They're
yeah,
pretty cool. I would like to see regular turtles in the Archie style. I would really
yeah,
like to see that.
yeah. I mean, they've done so many turtles now, and I kind of feel like they've done the whole entire original line.
I think they have. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they need to start figuring out how to
Well, now
branch
they're
out.
doing the new two pack that's coming out is like here's characters from the Playmates line, but what if they were in the cartoon style animation? Like that's what they're doing now. Like they're this damn dragon. Everybody bought it.
Yeah.
Did you buy one? Did you buy a
No,
dragon?
I wasn't buying. I mean, this thing was like what, like $500? Yeah, five
You
hundred
have
fifty dollars.
550.
Kiss
This
my.
is it. This is everything you get for 550.
Well, you got to unlock it.
It's unlocked. Everything
Oh,
unlocked.
yeah,
Everything unlocked. That's
yeah,
fucking crazy.
yeah. I'm not. Well, I mean, how much you think they made on this freaking
Oh my
bundle here?
god. Because then there's a $150
God,
add-on set. Everything unlocked. And then there's another $150 add-on set. Everything unlocked. I can't believe it. Who bought the giant flying wings?
so you're looking at five, six, seven, eight,
This is
eight
yeah,
fifty, $900, bro.
900 and then I think it's like for most people it's almost like another 100 in shipping.
So $1,000. My
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
holy shit! I mean, when they get it, it's gonna make somebody's day. I can tell you that.
And I mean they had to sell to get everything. I think they had to hit like 40,000 backers to unlock everything.
40,000 backers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can't believe it. Like I stood next to this thing. I stood next to this dragon.
Yeah.
It is massive.
Yeah.
I do not know where I'd put it.
Well, you got rid of all your elites because you didn't have room. So I mean, where the fuck would you put this thing?
Right, right.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I took back a lot of shit I was talking on it once I seen it in person,
Uh,
but it's still too damn big. I mean, it's bigger than a dog.
it's bigger than a dog.
It's cheaper in the long run because you don't have to feed it, but it is bigger than a dog.
You just got to wipe it down every now and then.
Yeah, that's it. Just a little dusted a little bit. So look, if you guys wanted some goblins with their dick hanging out, this company Gumskull is now making it. They're
There is.
they're going to be 3.5 inches tall. The prototypes are in the works here.
Oh wow, looks like mine. What?
You get replace my snake. My snake mountain is currently on a shelf in the basement, put away right next to my Castle Grayskull. But they're massive, and you know what? I stood next to the damn the cat slayer, the Thundercats cat slayer. I was at Eternia Dreams over the weekend for my birthday a few weeks
Yeah,
back. Holy shit! How people have that thing in their house? You need a house for that.
you
You need
need.
a whole new room. It's absolutely insane, but I don't know if I can get in trouble for showing this
Well,
goblin
I mean, it's so
genitalia
small,
on here.
nobody's gonna notice. You know.
Yeah, but yeah, so check them out, Gumskull on Instagram. You know, they're making for your fantasy lines here 3-inch action figures for your 1/12 scale. If you want goblins and minions and all types of little demons or critters, they're in the works.
It's insane.
You know, this is up your alley here.
So, oh, they're remaking them.
Yeah, the mighty. These are like Mighty Max, but
Yeah,
Godzilla.
no, dude, I love these things. I used to have them all.
It's like I think these are
Who,
like
who's doing these?
this is on the Godzilla website. I don't know who's making them, but it's like $150 for the set on Godzilla's site.
Oh shit! Look at how freaking awesome those ones are. They're up. They're like updated.
Yeah.
They come with minifigures.
Oh, did the old ones not?
Not that big. They come with like little guys, like
Okay.
little ones like that. But
Nico's
those
Nico's
are awesome.
working, man. He said he was going to be an hour late, and I haven't heard from him. It's okay. It happens. You know, we all got to work sometimes.
Sometimes
I try not to work. I'm all
nobody wants to work.
Nobody wants to work.
But yeah, those are awesome. Oh man,
They look cool. I didn't expect them to be as. I think it's on.
I'm sure Nico would know what these are right off the bat. He'd be like,
Yeah,
"Holy crap!"
the Godzilla shop. Yeah, they're $150
Those are awesome.
on the Godzilla.com website. You can go to the shop there. $150.
Jesus Christ, those are cool. That's so awesome. It's like a little display piece. It's not even
Yeah, yeah.
necessarily like
See,
usable. That's cool. So cool.
and then Boss Fight put up a new Red Sonja in their 1/12 scale.
Now is Red Sonja public domain?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't think the steampunk Red Sonja, because I think that's like a whole exclusive thing to Dynamite. Like
Uh-huh.
they made that version of her. I don't know.
I got to look if she is because I mean I might then take advantage of it because it seems like they do a lot of Red Sonja.
There's a movie coming out too.
There you go. Now you give me a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be down for some barbarian type people in the retro line.
Oh hell yeah!
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean it looks cool. I I wanted to get this. I still want to get this. Both of my pre-orders were canceled for the regular boss fight version. I'm a fan of boss fights toys. I think the face looks a little rough from render to actual product. There's not a good translation there.
You know who had the same issue? um, Power Town with their Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Like the render in the face was like awesome, and then when they showed the proto, it looked like it just didn't look good. It looked like this, where it
Yeah.
wasn't the
But
same.
if you pre-order through Boss Fight, you get an exclusive chainmail bra and axe. So, and that's the other hang up I'm having on the Boss Fight Red Sonja right now is all the armor on her and all the boots and gloves, everything is removable, and then you can have a bare blank figure, and that's cool for customizing. But for me, somebody's posing it up. That's just a lot of shit. It's going to be moving around and kind of getting misplaced.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
But if you intend on pre-ordering this figure, I recommend just going through Boss Fight because you're going to get more stuff, and they do charge up front. So just a heads up for anybody doing that. Totally out of topic. I saw a post. They were watching Popeye's horror movies. It's like a killer sailor. Have you seen those, Leo? I have not yet. Is this in your line that you're in?
No, no. You talking to me?
Yeah, I mean, is
Yeah.
this in the Poohverse?
No,
Killer
no. It's not in
Popeye?
the It's not in the Pooh verse. It's kind of It's kind of its own thing. Somebody
Okay.
just decided let's make a Popeye the Killer movie, the Slayer Man. But
Okay.
my Popeye is just regular Popeye. It's not Popeye the Slayer Man. I did see the movie. Uh,
Is it cool?
no,
No.
it's it's another low budget taking advantage of a property movie. It's decent. If you're into that type of like horror, then yeah, I
I
mean, but
mean, I like cheesy horror. I'm
it's
okay
very
with it.
cheesy. There you go, very cheesy. Like I'll just give you, it's not a spoiler, but at the end of the movie, he grabs somebody, and they said, "What are you?" Like Batman, and he goes, "I am what I am. I am what I am." And I see it, and I started laughing, and I'm like, "Oh God, oh God."
Nico, there he is, driving home. Well, dude, you can come hang out with us if you get here in time. We got 30 minutes left, so if you make it, come hang out.
Put your pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Then the Wave 2, Mattel put up a bunch of Masters of the Universe pre-orders between last week's show and this week, so I just kind of threw them all together. I don't know if some were supposed to go up, but you can access them through certain links and everything and get your pre-orders in. This is the Thundercats crossover, the Mattel or Masters of the Universe X Thundercats. This is the He-Man. These
Why
are
do the
cool.
legs? It's cool, but why do the legs look so short?
That's what I was.
It's
I think they all look lanky compared to the regular Origins line. They all like the forearms and the lower legs are much longer. This all looks like the regular base body stuff. Everything just looks longer to me.
Yeah, it looks a
Especially
little
on
awkward.
Panthro.
Yeah,
Like if you look at Panthro, he looks very apish.
yeah, he looks very weird.
You know?
I do like that attachment to his leg at the
I'm
bottom.
still
It
down.
kind
I'm
of takes
still
away some of that lankiness.
still gonna get these. My son is like super into the idea of this, so
Yeah,
he dug all the turtle crossover ones, and then he's seen the Thundercats. He's been wanting some Thundercats figures because I got my Thundercats Ultimates with my Motu Classics figures and have all that
yeah.
together. So he's super wanting these, and Tiger looks all right. Tiger, he looks like a shithead. This is more like that remake series. I feel like he has the vibes to that than the original one. It's cool. It's cool. This another one of the sketch collections. This is the original. Fucking hell. I can't remember the guy's. It's not Stratos.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
Oh my god, my mind just went blank. It's like Psy. Oh my god.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm gonna have my Motu card taken.
I mean, it's cool. I like that you can take out that little thing in the center.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Cyclone. Okay, I just spelled it
Well,
wrong.
that
It's
makes sense. He
Cyclone.
has like that spinny thing.
Cyclone. Yeah. So I mean, this is what his head more looked like in the toy line and the mini comics and everything. But this is the original concept sketch of it. So this is their sketchbook line.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like this. I mean, not just being like, oh, I want like original art concept of the guy. I mean, this could just be a whole new character in your collection, which is what I did with the Hordak figure that came out. And now then they're gonna re-release the original
Oh,
figures.
the original one that
Yeah,
they
the
did when
original
they first
originals.
started.
Yep.
This is going to be a 2-pack.
Yes.
Okay, I mean that makes sense then.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. With I think just like the original Masters of the Universe line, the reason why the line died ultimately was because people couldn't get a He-Man and Skeletor figure because every time they would restock with figures that they had in stock, which is like
It's funny. Like
figures that nobody gave
that's
a
why
crap.
this is my He-Man, the battle armor, because he came out like he's one I had new. I didn't have the regular He-Man, so like battle
Yeah,
armor He-Man was my He-Man, and then I eventually got a regular He-Man later on. But so just my mind's eye is battle armor Skeletor, battle armor He-Man. I love those versions.
at least they chose the right head this time because remember the head it originally came with. It came with two heads. This head and another head, and the head was
Yeah.
like way off. People are
Yeah.
like, "What is this thing?"
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got a cartoon collection, Whiplash. He looks cool. I mean, I dig the cartoon collection. I think they're a little bit beefier and they move better than the regular Origins figures. Also, it's kind of cool to have figures that, because when you're playing with these toys, you're like, why don't my toys look like the cartoon? And now we're getting figures that look like the cartoon. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's pretty
cool.
cool actually.
So yeah, Toy Habits. We did see this at SDCC, the new Etheria Hordak coming out. And I did read, I think they posted on the notes he will have a removable arm and have the cannon. He'll come with the crossbow, but then he'll also have the removable arm gun. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean it's dope.
More Horde, man. I love me some Techno Vampire. Um,
Yes, it's pretty cool too.
this is so Motu has too many damn sublines right now. They have your regular your Masterverse line. It's Masterverse in general, but then you have your Revolution figures. You have your new Eternia. And now you have your vintage collection. So they did He-Man, they did Skeletor. The next one they're doing in vintage collection is Stratos, and it's going to be almost a re-release of the new Eternia Stratos. It's going to have a new chest. He's going to have
Mhm.
a gold belt here. He's probably going to come with less accessories. You probably won't get like the gas mask and the jetpack and all that shit. But that figure, that new Eternia Stratos goes for quite a bit of money. It's hard to find. So here you go for the people that want that.
Yeah, people want to stay in the line, which is why they do this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Pretty
and
awesome.
then we got a new Eternia on the back of Ninjor that just went up for pre-order last week. We got a picture of Cobra Khan,
So awesome.
new
So
Eternia Cobra
awesome.
Khan, and that looks cool.
It looks really cool. Are you kidding me? The thing looks awesome.
Well, I'm a classics guy, so like I'm not like super into a lot of the lankiness in Masterverse, but I'll tell you what I just got. Masterverse has been coming down in price, or not Masterverse. Classics have been coming down in price.
Uh-huh.
So I scored a Camo Con. He didn't have the weapon and he didn't have a head, but I got him for $40 on eBay. He's in like perfect condition. The guy said he just didn't have the accessories for it, but I have the Cobra Con, so I'm going to take the hooded Cobra Con head and put it on Camo Con and just use it as a completely different character. Just have two different Snake Men. We also have a new Eternia Tila in the works, so this will
Yeah,
be cool. I really like the new Eternia Evil Lyn that just came out.
yeah, it's
So to
really cool
get to
actually.
get a new Eternia Tila, very good. I'm
Yeah,
down
it's
for
pretty
that.
awesome.
But this is just again, this is a little picture that was on the back of the box, so we won't see her full loadout. These new Eternia figures usually come with multiple looks, multiple weapons, and everything. Marvel Legends have teased a Fantastic Four First Steps wave. This is what they put out here.
What do you think about the movie?
I I don't like Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
I think it was a big
I
miscast.
feel like Disney is playing it super safe with that one. I personally feel like they should just kept Jim, and I know a lot of people are haters, but I think given the opportunity, he could have been a badass Reed.
Yeah, no, I thought he was pretty good in the small little part he had.
Yeah,
He felt like Reed Richards, but Pasquale, Pedro just
Pedro's not going to bring that masculinity that I feel like Reed needs to have
that
to
might be
to
the
lead
issue.
the family.
He doesn't come off as a leader. Like I was watching this thing where they were talking about seeing the new trailer that came out like beforehand, which it's not out yet, but they were saying how in the trailer he just comes off as like mopey.
No, he's the character that he usually plays, and
Yeah, the mopey.
the I
Uh,
don't want to use these terms,
yeah,
but
yeah,
damn
yeah.
it, the beta male, like
Yeah, that's a great way of putting
that's
it.
his
He's a beta.
class, that's his shtick, that's what he plays. I hate using that type of terminology, but that's basically the
But
character he plays for the
that's
most part.
exactly how he comes off as the beta male.
Yeah,
Like like when he's under the Mandalorian mask, nobody sees it, you know.
that's different. He's just
But
always there.
when he's acting and it's him, I mean,
Yeah.
he's yeah,
I,
he
I
comes off like a beta male.
I've always said that I believe the Fantastic Four is the hardest comic to translate to live action because they're all very nerdy and it's family based.
Yeah,
and you gotta, but you gotta have some type of edge or a hook or something to
yeah.
keep people interested in that, or it'll get boring real quick, you know? So like you got to have that masculine leader or father figure for the team to get them through that stuff and keep them together. I feel like Sue's going to take that spot here. I
I
think Pedro's going
that's
to sit back. Sue's going to be the face, and then
yeah,
we're going to rely on the thing, Ben Grimm, a lot.
yeah. I mean, the original two movies that they came out with in the early 2000s, their whole entire marketing play in the movie was around Ben Grimm for both of them, realistically. But for for this one, yeah, I think they're I don't want to say they're pulling a little bit of woke on this movie, but I definitely think it sucks because I mean I was hoping for something that was going to be awesome, but
Yeah, yeah. And then the whole the Doom thing, like it's everything is very confusing right now. You know, it's weird because I used to be so excited to see a Marvel movie, and now I'm just like,
I mean I can tell you right now that I think that Superman is going to crush this movie.
I think it will too.
I think it's going to crush it.
I think it will too.
And you know what's crazy is they've only showed us literally throughout the whole entire trailer. They've even said it. We've only showed you the beginning of the movie. Wait till you
Yeah.
see the rest of it. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna crush this.
I mean, if
Yeah,
James Gunn can make you care
about a
about
story.
the Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy
Yeah.
and the Suicide Squad, imagine what he's gonna do when he has free reign with Superman.
I mean, to be honest, like people are like, yeah, but why is the sun hurting Superman? And I'm like, well, you try, healing your organs, your bones,
Yeah,
your intestines in a
it
in a
hurts to heal, and
summertime.
then he's getting hit with like sun at a rapid rate,
Yeah.
magnified. You know,
Can
like
you imagine your lungs have exploded and then they
yeah,
just start
it's
filling up with
I
air?
didn't know. I just dude that teaser. I
Yeah.
was like, man, this just had so much heart just in that little 4 minute teaser.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and people were just looking to the shit on things like have the interactions with the robot. We don't show emotion, and then the robot clearly blushes. Who gives a shit? This is a fucking fun movie already.
Yeah. It's going to be a,
I'm already hooked.
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not a big Superman guy at all. I honestly think Superman's one of the more boring characters out there. But the more I see, that makes people mad when I say that. But the more I see from the trailer, the more excited I am to see the movie now, and that hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah.
You
I'm,
know,
I'm as
me
big
getting
of, a, I'm a big, of, I'm just as big a fan of Superman as I am Michael Myers. So I'm hoping that this movie has the feels of the Reeves movies,
yeah,
but has the action of the Snyder movies. That's what I'm hoping because I'm
yeah.
tired of the dark movies
I
and
want
tired of movies where he doesn't punch anybody.
I
But if
want
you
a
put the two
bright
together,
Metropolis. I want, happy Superman. I want animated series or if
yeah,
you ever played the game DC Universe Online, it's like
yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah,
in Gotham, it's all doom and gloom and dark and raining, and you go to Metropolis and it's beautiful. The sun's out and it's nice, like that's what I want. I want that feeling. The background music just sounds different. It's like
yeah,
hope and like here's to tomorrow and shit like that. It's cool.
yeah. They definitely. When it comes down to the Fantastic Four, though, I think making Silver Surfer a woman, and I'm not saying that a woman couldn't portray the character, but making Silver Surfer a female, I think, is gonna hurt this movie tremendously
I
because, and supposedly the girl plays her is like 4'9".
Well, and that's the thing. Like, okay, we're gonna make. You know what? I'm fine if we're gonna put a woman as Silver Surfer.
She
That's
has to be an
cool.
intimidating woman. You know what I'm saying?
But let's have it. Let's have it be a woman. You know what I
Yeah, like
mean?
a woman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You know what I mean? Look at that female Silver Surfer. She's curvy as hell.
yeah,
But you got this one, and I'm not a fan of her. Like, I couldn't stand her in Ozark, and
yeah,
and now her being the Silver Surfer, I'm just like, nah. So like I'm super like I love the casting for Sue Storm and Ben Grimm. I absolutely love I'm up in the air about Eddie as Human Torch, but really you just need somebody to be on fire and say some quirky, smart ass shit in the background to be Human Torch. I don't
pretty
need,
much.
a big core character. I'm worried about the Silver Surfer. I'm worried about this whole Doom thing and the timeline. They're not from our world, but they're going to come to our world. So, are we going to get different versions of them, or is this team actually coming to our world after an incursion. I don't know. There's a lot to be cleared up.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, in the overall universe is because now they're all canon, right? Thanks to
Yeah,
Deadpool.
yeah,
Theoretically, there should be another thing out there.
yeah,
There should be another thing out there. They said Reed and Sue died, but they never said the thing died. So um, I don't know. We'll see.
yeah. And then they just announced that Chris Evans is going to be in this movie. So
Really?
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't think it, I felt like their first movie, their first introduction shouldn't have been a whole multiversal mess. I feel like that's. But we got to get to Doomsday real quick. There's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, and they're gonna rush it. No pun intended to myself,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're gonna rush it, and it's gonna wind up just.
They're,
They're gonna
it's
ruin. They're gonna,
crazy how quickly they've become DC.
and now it feels like DC is about to become Marvel. To be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see.
He's gonna play the baby. Oh, dude, that
He's gonna play. I can see that. He's just like
gonna
this.
play Franklin. Yeah,
Oh God.
yeah. Speaking of continuing on with Marvel, we had the Maximum Hulk drop this week. Did you order one?
No, why would I order this? This
I
makes
I didn't
absolute
order one either.
sense.
I have my the one that came with the first appearance Wolverine, the 80th Hulk. Like I said, it's the only thing that's ticking the box that I wanted was an Ed McGuinness style head, and they gave me like a weird screaming action style head. But I wanted a brighter Hawk, a gamma green Hawk, like the same color as the She Hulk, and they haven't done that. And yeah, I'm good with the one I have. I don't need one. I don't care that he can do thunderclap. I'm worried about this soft vinyl torso.
Yeah, they
You
made it
know,
seem like they were reinventing the wheel when they showed this, and I'm like,
when this is all Storm is, and that's the reason why I don't collect Storm is I don't want to have to maintenance my toys because they get dry and dusty. You got to put some oil or lube on them things,
and the,
man.
the color changes too quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Sun damage is a thing if you have them out like in the living room or
No,
something.
but even when the rubber gets dusty,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard to clean them, so the
yep.
color changes, and the arms and the upper torso are going to be
Yeah,
completely.
I'm really interested to see how this holds up after a while because I've already seen the was it that Mezco Keaton Batman?
Yeah,
There are people already cracking and peeling and drying out.
yeah,
That's crazy. It's cool. It's just not for me. I don't feel like this is worthy of maximum line.
yeah. That's another company that took a big dip in like maybe the last 10 to 15 years. Mezco. I mean,
Yeah.
when they were doing cool stuff like the Chuckies and things like that, now it's I don't know. I'm surprised they're still around.
I really I like their Rumble Society stuff, but like
Uh,
it's cool. Just the unique character. I like unique characters, everybody doing their own shit. We have a G.I. Joe leak here. This is Monkey Wrench. We've already seen the render reveal, but here's some hand on hand prototype. This right here is really reason why I wanted to bring it up. This confirms that I should have had the other picture, but the hair and glasses will be a swappable piece on the head, which I kind of fucking hate, but it is what it is. I would much rather have swappable heads, but people like these play features, I guess.
yeah, it's a little
I,
weird.
I don't, because if they don't set right, then it just looks like shit.
Yeah. If it's on an angle or something, yeah.
We also had the armored Cobra Commander leak. A few weeks ago, we got his legs leak out. Now we have his torso, and I guess this is his like jetpack. It's cool. I'm an
Yeah,
armored. You like armored Cobra Commander?
yeah. I think it looks pretty awesome. Yeah. I love unique stuff like that.
Yeah. And then we got a new Sarge. Sarge will be in a 2-pack with Mercer. All right, so we're getting a new Sarge here, another new Sarge. And going by the ripped off sleeves and the bandolier and this cap, I've narrowed it down to two possible versions here. We got version 3 and then we got version 5
Wow, he's
that
so
it could
lucky, man.
be. That it could be. Personally, I'm hoping maybe like get the dark shirt, maybe do the desert camo, do a mix of the two.
Yeah,
Fingerless gloves are cool. We haven't seen his hands in this render or these figures yet, so fingerless gloves will be neat. And then the Mercer is They said it's not going to be a large giant Mercer like the new Energon comics. It's going to be much closer to the original toy and actually pretty much spot on to the animated movie.
Yeah,
Mercer's coming with some serious shit here. He's got holsters.
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
He's got a little pump action grenade launcher, which is pretty badass
Yeah,
looking.
that
To
thing
be
looks
honest with
freaking
you.
awesome. The way the grenades are placed like that.
Yeah,
Those are awesome. Actually, it's
yeah,
actually
that
awesome.
thing looks nasty. But yeah, this is probably how he'll look going into the show, into the release. That's all I have.
Look at that crotch.
Oh yeah, yeah. Zooming in on a lot of dick and crotch tonight. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's some
Give you
cool
my
stuff coming.
hooded
But
Cobra Commander. Yeah. Yeah, I want a hood. Well, Fresh Monkey Fiction's got you covered with their Monster Force figures. You can take one of those heads and put them on there. There's plenty of third party guys. I don't understand the whole debate. I don't see it,
mm,
but that's what they say. So we're not going to get one probably ever.
I mean, we'll see. I'm sure down the line when they have nothing else left to do, you know.
Where's the blood sports figures? I forgot, man. I've been busy. I literally put all these images together like 20 minutes before we went live. Okay. But yeah, the blood sport figures from Zombie Sailor Toys are live. did you did you put it in anonymous order? I know you said you were liking them, but
No, well, I like the Bolo Young. I don't like the
the
Van
Van
Dams.
Dam.
I think the Van Dam is pretty terrible because I think they could have done them better.
I mean, I
But
feel like just like a regular pose. Like
well,
I
no, I
didn't
know.
like.
I think like he had clearly he has the ability to do a leg that's the leg to do legs that you can actually bend and twist. And just because it's a retro, I think that one calls for that. So with a little stand that you can put him on, so he looks like he's jumping and kicking at the same time. This he just looks like it just looks like two children playing together. Like they're wrestling around or something like that. But the Bolo Young looks really really cool. Um, what did he price him at now for the pre-order?
36.99.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did order them. I did. I got them. I did. It was either those or the Diamond Select figures. That are probably. Or did they come out the Diamond Select ones before Diamond Select went under?
Well, they didn't go under. They're still around. They just they got bought by somebody else. So they might still come out. You would assume, especially if they're in production already. Um,
Yeah, I think they came out. There's packaging
okay.
pictures here on. Yep. Or no, it's just a YouTube showing off the packaging video.
Uh,
Okay, so maybe they're not out yet then.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
they look fairly rough anyway. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting, but we'll see. We'll see how they do for them. I mean, look, I don't want anybody to not be successful, but I think that Van Damme could have been 100 times better. 100 times better.
I feel like because he said he's been working on it for 2 years. I feel like after the pre-order window, there's probably going to be another Van Dam. I you
Oh
know
yeah, I mean you don't you don't take a license like that and not we'll use Bruce Lee as the example. You don't take a license like that and just do one Bruce Lee.
yeah.
You try to do them all. You do the yellow one. You do the one with the white. And that's another one that I think he kind of effed up on was that pose for Bruce Lee could have been 100 times better. The side pose that he did him in. I think he could have. I, I think they could have been better. Is all I'm saying. And I'm not trashing the guy. I'm just saying I feel like they could be better. Not to say that they're bad. Like I said, that Bolo Young figure I think is fucking awesome, and you can use that thing for so many other wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But but yeah, I think it could be a little better. I mean, I'm not gonna buy it, but maybe if I find the Bolo for a cheaper price down the line, maybe. But the Van Dam is a no go for me. Yeah,
I did just because I love the scale. I
yeah.
couldn't help myself.
Well, you're going retro anyway. Everything you're doing
Yeah.
is retro.
Yeah.
So it makes sense
That was
to
nice.
add it into your collection. If you have a Frankenstein, then you should definitely have a
I do have a Frankenstein.
Bloodsport figures.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Diego says the big rubber guys has Haku, Tonga Kid, Bruiser Brody, and Kerry Von Erich up for pre-order.
Yeah, I saw those. I saw those. I might be making an announcement soon about my big rubber figures.
There you go.
There you
Stay
go.
tuned. Well, you did a teaser a few weeks back for the. Did you? Did you not, or did you show me? I think you did.
Yeah, yeah. So
I don't.
I'm going to do a
The,
roadblock for the first one.
well, didn't you show the accessory? I don't want to say anything because I'm now like.
No, no, I made it public.
Okay.
There's a roadblock that we're going to do for the bigger figures. I don't want to say the name of the brand yet because I'm waiting. I'm still waiting for the trademark to come through. But the because then I can call them what I'm going to call them. But
Yeah. Okay. So you did the big ring of the
yeah.
ring
Oh, so the big
information
ring.
portion.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's good. That's going to be down the line. At the end of the
Yeah,
day.
but I just was like, I wanted to make sure that you posted that, and
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. No, no. I posted a big ring because what I need to do is I want to do one. But I need to see how this big roadblock is going to sell first. So, and if it does really well, then the ring is most likely definitely happening. But I like to put things out there too, so that I can get a feel for what people are thinking or feeling or saying. You know what I'm saying? So, but the roadblock is definitely happening. He's going to come with the barricade, just like the original did, just like my little one. Um, and if that does well, then we're going to do all the NES wrestlers and in that style. And I would love to start to not transition out, but just transition into something new, uh, not just the smaller retros. And I think, we'll admit it, those guys have opened up a market. So it makes sense to kind of add into the market if, I can.
Yeah, especially if you got the license already. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I
now
mean,
I'm getting smarter when it comes down to the wrestlers, right? Like, instead of just signing them for one figure, now I sign them for a couple. So and I sign them exclusively. So it's Fantasio, for example, which I have in the other room. Did I ever show you the Fantasio sample?
I just seen the pictures on Instagram. Yeah.
All right, let me get it. Hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
I'll bring both. Give me a second.
All right.
Oh, hopefully Nico pops in. Give me a sec, give me a sec. Here,
Yeah, Diego. So if you're into this
this
retro
will give me
stuff,
a
man, you gotta keep an eye on them.
yeah. This will give me a chance to show off. That's why I like showing off.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So we have the sample and packaging.
Hell
Sample
yeah.
and packaging. So it's the slide packaging, same as like everything I do.
Dude,
Really good
those
stuff.
are the slide packaging is so clean because like
Well,
a
yeah,
couple of my older retros, like I was putting stuff away and I was like tearing them open. I was like, oh, I destroyed the card, but sliding them now it makes me want to keep it. And most of the time, I
yeah.
just throw everything away.
Well, this way, yeah. If you're an on card collector, you can keep them in the packaging. But as an on card collector, I collect some stuff on card. Like I'm looking at my old Godzilla figure here, and I'm like, God, I want to rip that thing off so bad and just look at it, but I don't want to take it off the card. So yeah, so that's the figure.
Looks damn cool.
So of course, this is going to be black, black. It's going to have like a speckle to it, so it's going to feel like it's shiny. Love the slide packaging, especially the mint on cut from yes, yeah, so that you guys can have it both ways, right? This is like Burger King, have it your way. You know what I'm saying? And then it comes with the hat, so it actually snaps on.
Also fits well. Nice.
Yeah, it's actually you can actually hear it. I don't know if you can hear it. Hold on. Do you hear that click?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it clicks in, but I'll show
So
you
it's,
why.
it's like keyed to fit a certain way.
Yeah, so the
Okay,
head, it was sculpted to his head
that's awesome.
shape. So when it goes in, it clicks, and you can even see like his hair follicles in there. See it?
Yup, I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, you heard it. Yeah. So that's Fantasio. I
We are
have.
ending in 8 seconds, man.
Oh man! All right, Nosferatu with a wrap.
Nosferatu looks awesome.
That's it.
That's it. We ended. I think we're ending. I don't know. Said
Hold on.
ending started counting down, but now it looks like we're still live. But
You're gonna laugh. I'm actually watching it on my computer, so I'll see if it ends. Hold on.
yeah,
Hold on. No, we're still going.
we're still going. All right. Well, then go
All
ahead
right.
and talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about
All right.
then.
So that's the that's the Nosferatu
Dude,
packaging.
I love the monster card. Yeah.
Slide
Thanks for
cards.
hanging
Yeah.
out, Diego.
Fuck yeah! Great show, guys. So this time, instead of having the electricity, because that's Frankenstein's kind of calling,
Yeah.
So this is actually going to have flames. So I'm changing it up a little. Every monster is going to have something different. You know what I'm saying? On the
Yes.
card.
Yep.
And then Nosferatu. This thing came out so great detail wise.
Yeah, dude. That's all.